Feeling lost in the maze of CPS? Desperate to get your child back? You're not alone. Countless parents face the heart-wrenching reality of family separation. The legal system can be overwhelming, but there's hope.
Now, here's the key. Okay, that's how you win a 6-month hearing.
Thank you.
If you do all of those things, you're going to blow your social worker's mind, you're going to blow your attorney's mind, and you're going to blow away the judge.
With attorney Vincent W. Davis, a dedicated legal expert with 39 years of experience, committed to helping families like yours. Join his weekly live Q&A on Zoom, where you can ask your burning questions about CPS cases. Get the knowledge and strategies you need to fight for your child's return.
Alrighty, good evening everyone. This is a question and answer session for school, SKOOL, and this is the CPS school.
Are you ready to take control of your family's future? Join our school community for free to access weekly live Q&A sessions, or participate as a one-time guest. Don't let fear hold you back. Take the first step towards reuniting your family. Join us now.
Good evening and welcome to my podcast. I'm Bob Pace, and here we are to fight CPS Stop Taking Our Children. Well, tonight, it only took me 2 times to reboot my computer to get into my room. It's still kind of strange where I can't seem to figure out why my computer cursor is just jumping around. What I'm having is the cursor won't sit still. It goes from right to left, and I can't type. I can't do anything there. The mouse is working, but the cursor seems to be interfering. Whether I use my keyboard or auxiliary keyboard, it seems to be the problem in both cases. But anyway, it seems like it's working pretty good, and it's a warm welcome because I know all of you have had a long day, and some of you it's on the evening time, or some of you it's early morning in Europe. I know Europe is about 9 hours ahead of me right now, and so if that is the case, it's 4 o'clock in the morning in Europe. England, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and so it's early morning the next day. I know that in Australia, it's the next day. It's 6 hours behind me, so it's in the morning the next day. And so I know all about that goes and so forth there. So anyway, I want to thank you all for being here, because I hope I can share with you my problems with CPS. Yes, I was involved in CPS, but much later in my life. Most of you encounter CPS in maybe your early years, but apparently my life has been going backwards. My rough time in my life has been in the last couple of years. When I started out as a young fella, I still feel I'm young, but I didn't have the issues. I was debt-free and didn't have all the problems or anything that one would imagine. But anyway, let me tell you something about our room and what takes place and so forth. And one thing I will put up on the screen is to what you need to do if you want to text in a message. And you can read that as well as I can read it to you. But anyway, we have regular people that join us in the room. And it's always nice to see them come back in the morning or at nighttime. And we have right now Tessa. Hello, Tessa. Good evening and a warm welcome to you. Tessa's from Shasta, California. She's a mother, has a child. Her husband, Geraldo, they talked to me the other day, which was so nice. It was so nice to hear how her case came on January 2nd. And it looks good. She said the advice that she got from me and her conference call with Vincent Davis worked out great. So I'm glad we are doing something to help you all in this room. Now, The word CPS may have different meanings, but when I call CPS, I mean the child protection systems. There are systems in every county, every state. There's systems worldwide. Yes, my podcast is worldwide. We have people that call in. This morning, I had a Canadian who's indigenous First Nation tribe who called in and was talking about horrified things they're doing to their people and so forth. So I welcome you all. We have quite a cosmopolitan of people in the world. And the thing that they seem to have common, because I've talked to close to 900 people, and I've been going at this for over a year, October of 2023, is that CPS unnecessary interferes with their family lives. The majority of it, people say that, and they want to traffic your children into foster care. The reason why I found out is it's all about money. CPS has found out in the United States and worldwide. And what I mean by worldwide, I've had Bangladesh text in, I've had India text in, I've had 2 countries in the Middle East, I've had 6 countries in Africa, then up to Europe, I've had 8 countries in Europe, and then I've had 3 countries in North America, Canada, about 4 or 5 provinces there, and then all 50 states in the United States, including Washington, D.C., which is not a state, have either texted or called in. I've had one from Mexico who called in, and I also have another country, Grenada, in South America, on the east side of South America, east of Venezuela, north of Brazil. And then across the Pacific, I've had Australia, New Zealand. So that's quite a group of countries. Myself, I've traveled. I've been to over 50 countries worldwide, and I lived out of a bag for 25 years, chasing surfing contests from venue to venue. And so I am well versed. I have a lot of life skills I can share with you. I'm a family man. I'm not an attorney, but I have been in CPS. I've been fighting them for 15 years. They did traffic my children and tried to alienate them, but I got my children back, except one of them. I have 6 children. 3 are older and more grown up. The 3 younger ones were abducted or trafficked into foster care by the child protection system in Orange County, California. It was terrible. You don't not, I mean, many of you do know, but anytime someone breaks apart your family, it hurts you in the heart. And they make promises and let you down and everything else. They don't keep their promises. The child protection system in every county and every state, the ones that I've talked to, and from the over close to 700 people, have said how horrible it was to have their family, and there was not extreme violence taking place. They weren't domestic violence. They were taken. Why? Because we as parents don't know the laws or what we can do with the police or the child protection social workers. The child protection system is a good thing. It looks good on paper, but in reality, it does not work. It's kind of a broken system. Nancy Schaefer, who's a senator from Georgia, was murdered in her 70s fighting for CPS. And that is sad because she really cared enough. She wanted to make changes. She was a good vocal person for CPS. Many of you told me about the intimidations and the problems that you have. And I feel for you. I feel for you. And hopefully on this podcast, there are things I can help you out with, things that people in a room or regulars can help me out with. I'm doing okay, Tessa. One of the things that I'm having an issue, of course, is my computer. And it took me, instead of 3 times this morning, it took me only twice to log in to get the things that are important to you. But when your hands are tied, when you got a cursor that won't stop. So Tessa further says, we go back for a 2-day trial on January 31st and February 5th. Okay, that sounds great. And I know Tessa's trying to get her child back. She was wrongly accused when she went into seizures. And her husband was trying to help her, but a neighbor looking through the window saw her being supposedly hit by her husband, which wasn't the case. They immediately took the child because CPS needs the money. They need the money. There's no other reason why. They are just bad scenes. Now, Tessa further says, I really think we win because of the guy saying he never said Jared, my husband, hit me. So that's good. And she's forcing her court-appointed attorney subpoena the sheriffs, the doctor. And I mean, she's doing it. They're not happy about doing it. The court-appointed attorneys don't want to, fight for your case. They're really bad. Hey, good evening, Betty. Betty's from Montana, and she's come on regularly on the show, and she's trying to get her niece, her brother's daughter, from Nebraska, and they're using what's called an IPCP, which is an organization that will transport a child safely from state to state. Now, Betty is also a foster care mother, and she was on my show not too long ago to talk about foster care, which is nice. I've had a total of 4 people involved in social services, and all of them have been nice and pleasant and shared how they work within CPS. But I'm sad to say that's very little. I mean, I like to talk to more social workers. I also like to talk to police. This morning, the Canadian woman said she had a hard time with the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. They were stalking her and so forth. I saw a dark side of Canada. Now, I've heard rumors and so forth, but it seemed like CPS was not very friendly or encouragement. That's the problem with CPS. And, CPS is supposed to be for the people. When Congress mandated that a branch of social services should protect their children from abuse and from neglect, which is good. I think that is. That's been going on for a long time. CPS has divided into 3 periods. From 1600 to 1875, there were cases where children were abused and so forth. From 1875 to 1962 was the second phase. And then from 1962 to today is the third phase of CPS. Now, in the second phase, a lot of them were societies that were protecting our children. Societies were involved. But there's horrific problems with the Native American Indians in the United States, and the children were shipped off to Indian schools where they're brutally disciplined and brutally tortured and molested and raped. Their hair was cut off. Their heritage was told to forget. They couldn't speak the language. They couldn't wear the gear of what it is. It's so sad that the supposedly modern men and women of the time thought they were more superior than the American Indians. This also goes for Canada with the First Nation people. In Canada, they call the Indians the First Nation people. In the United States, it's called Native American. They're indigenous people. They were the first immigrants that came via Asia through the land bridge to Alaska and then settled in Canada and the United States and then down to Mexico and into South America. The Spanish were exploring at times there in Mexico, and that's where you get your Mexicans. They're part Indian and part Spanish. We had the Vikings, who were the second immigrants coming to North America. They got as far west as Missouri, which a lot of people don't realize it. There's artifacts in Nova Scotia, in Rhode Island, in Missouri, and so forth. So that's as far, but the Vikings never really stayed for that length of time. It wasn't until the Pilgrims came and, the people from England and Portugal and France and Denmark and Norway, all those people, came over to the United States for new land, new freedom, new chance of starting your life over again, freedom from religious persecution, and so forth. So it was a cosmopolitan. But today we have a social services that's supposed to have a branch that's supposed to protect our children from neglect or abuse. Furthermore, if a family is in need, they're supposed to help out with food and shelter, clothing, transportation, education, and get you find medical, and then get you finding a job. That's what they're supposed to do. In fact, if they need to break your family because the children are in danger, like they're really in extreme danger, they need to do family reunification because studies have shown the best parents are the biological parents. So if the parents have a little hiccup or two, it can be corrected. It can be corrected. There are parenting classes and programs, anger management programs, drug rehab programs, alcohol rehab, and so forth. There's a lot of things you can do there. But I will emphasize the most important thing you do is you need to have an attorney to fight your case because you're not going to win by yourself. You're not going to win with a court-appointed attorneys. And no matter how hard you try, I tried. I had to hire an attorney. I had to sell my house. That was a hard thing to do. I had to do a quick sell of my house to pay for my attorney. And even still, I only got back 2 of the 3 kids that they kidnapped. Now, I need to catch up with our people here in the room. I'm not trying to ignore you guys, and I'm glad that you do. I see Tessa puts up, I'll be back tomorrow morning. Have a good night, everyone. Well, take care, Tessa. Thank you for coming on. Tessa had to go. Okay. Betty said, CPS is recently bad in Canada. Yeah. Well, the lady this morning really gave me a shocker. She was an indigenous Indian, the First Nation in Canada. And boy, she really blasted the Royal Canadian Mounted Police and the governments and all the problems with CPS in Canada. Even Trudeau, their prime minister, was blasted bad. Betty says, hi, Teresa. Have a good night. I'm a little bit late. I'm so sorry. I sometimes get to talk and I forget about you guys. Hey, Margaret. Margaret is from St. Louis, and she comes all the time. So far, we've had Tessa from Northern California, the Kern County, Mount Shasta area. And then we have Betty from Montana and has a case going in Nebraska. And then we have Margaret from St. Louis, Missouri. And she's trying to get her kids back too. I'm so glad to have these people come in here. Hi there, Kenny Anderson. I think you're from Tennessee. You were in here 2 days ago, if I'm not mistaken. Kenny was on the other night, and he was from Tennessee about his case. So glad to see you, Kenny. Glad to see you. So, I pretty much know a lot of you are my regulars. You're all part of my family, and I welcome you there. Now, I'd put a little note on my screen about how to send text messages. Please concentrate on CPS, either a comment or a question, and then include your first name, the city or the county, and the state your case is in. And on top of that, if you're from another country, please include your country name and your province or state there. Like Australia has states. South Africa has provinces. Canada has provinces. So include that, and then try to be complete about your CPS case so that I can understand and know where it's going there. So that is the second way you can interact with this podcast. I love the emojis, all of you got. I love the hearts, love the thumbs up. And thank you very much for the thumbs up and the hearts. And any of the, you can also send me stars. That's great. If you want to follow me, check down below. And if you want to be notified when I'm on, check the notification button. So those are the ways to do that. Now, a third way to interact with this podcast is you can be a guest on my show. I'd love to have you here. I can have up to 9 of you. With me makes 10 on the podcast at one time. And you can talk on the podcast. All you need to do is pick one of my shows. I'm on 7 days a week, twice a day. I'm Monday through Sunday. And I'm on in the evening, in the morning. I come on at 10 o'clock in the morning, Pacific Standard Time, and again at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Both shows are 1 hour. I'm on the West Coast, and I'm in Surf City, USA, and 3 blocks from the beach. And so I really encourage you all to be a guest, pick one of the dates, then you're going to send an email to my show producer. Grace is a sweetheart. She's been in the hospital, but I think she's home now. I don't know what the status is, but I think her prayers have been answered. She's been so bad she had to go to the hospital, but she's my show producer, helps make the shows produce and everything on that. So I want to thank Grace for all the hard work that she does. But she's the one you're going to write an email to. It's grace@vincentwdavis.com. It's grace@vincentwdavis.com. Please put in your email to her that you want to be on Bob's Wednesday morning show or Bob's Tuesday night show or Saturday morning. Whatever 7 days, whatever night or morning, just tell her that, and she will send you a link to get on. The link is good for that show, so if you end up being bounced off, reapply the link. The link will be on StreamYard. That's the application we use. And we broadcast on YouTube. And you can go ahead and talk and answer away any of your questions and so forth. She will tell you what to do and not to do and everything about that podcast. Now, the fourth way to interact with this podcast, is my phone number. And good news, I got Vonage to work. So Vonage is now working. My number is 626 698-0990. That's my office number. And I really would love to have you call in. And the nice thing to do, if you call in, whether you're my guest or call in, you will get a free 15-minute consultation with Mr. Davis on a private Zoom call. So that's another incentive to do. I love to have people call in and talk about their case and help other people. Also, as a guest, you can do the same thing. So whether you're a guest or call in, all I'll ask you, do you want to speak to Mr. Davis? And you'll get a free 15-minute consultation with Mr. Davis, a private Zoom call. So that number will stay up there for the life of the show. So hopefully you will get that there. Now, Margaret, I think, has a question or a comment here. Margaret says, I hear a lot of conversation regarding suing the CPS worker. What are the chances of suing the person that made the false reports, the one that called in on CPS? Well, that's a good question, Margaret. I wonder too, because I feel that the layperson or the professional, when they call in to complain about somebody, should give them your name and should sign, and it should be done in writing. It should not just be words. It should be done on a piece of paper, signed by a name with a phone number. It's sent into CPS. Everybody has email. They can call in and get the email, but I think it's important to have it in writing, because what's happened is too many people are using for alternative motives, meaning they don't like the neighbor who maybe their yard is growing on their yard, so they're going to make up stories that aren't true and try to turn the neighbor into CPS. Or maybe the dog barks too much, they're going to turn it in. Or maybe it's a spousal thing where one spouse is trying to alienate the other spouse and calls in false reports. I've had so many people that have turned in one another, family members. In my case, I had my in-laws that were reporting false accusations for 5 years. I did not know it was my wife's mother and father and 3 sisters and brothers. And they were calling away from Ohio to California. One of her sisters was a social worker, so she knew how the system works. You cry wolf in CPS's ears, they will believe you, and then they'll say the person is guilty. So it's up to you to prove you're innocent. It's the only form of law where you start off as guilty until you're proven innocent. And it's sad. There's a lot of manipulation goes on. CPS, fighting CPS is like open heart surgery. It's very critical that you get the proper attorney. You're not going to hire a plumber to defend yourself. Or are you going to hire a bartender or a lifeguard? No, you need a really good juvenile family dependency lawyer, someone who has the knowledge of juvenile and family with dependency that knows how to fight CPS and has won cases. Vincent Davis, who spoke earlier, and I want to thank him, gives a lot of his time, free time, to help all of you out there. He'd love to have you talk to him. He'd love to have you talk to him. More on the question about Margaret saying, do they sue the worker? All I know is I had a perfect case. My case was closed, and I wanted to sue my social worker who committed perjury on the witness stand. She had lied, and Mr. Davis had caught her in the lie. What she had said is that my wife's sister and husband were trying to adopt her daughter. And the social worker was asked by Mr. Davis, what kind of parents are these? Also, has there ever been domestic violence? And the social worker very proudly said, they're great parents and no domestic violence. Well, then Mr. Davis says, I'm quite confused, pulls out a stack of 30 reports of a police investigation with not only domestic violence against the couple, but physical domestic violence. That's not a place for a child of 12 to grow up in. They're not good candidates. Well, she lied. And Vincent Davis read report after report, and she was embarrassed. So embarrassed. Her face was red. She lied. And with that lie, that is a chance to sue that social worker. But anything that you want to use an attorney will cost you money. And I didn't quite have the money anymore after I'd sold my house, used that money to hire Vincent to get my kids back. I didn't have money. It was really sad. I really wanted to do something there. I really did. And it was sad. It was really sad. Now, if you know you need an attorney right away and you know that Vincent's the attorney, you can call at 888-888-6582. That's the law office of Vincent W. Davis. You can also get other attorneys there for other needs, such as immigration, criminal, divorce, etc. He has attorneys for everything. So you have 2 numbers there. You have my number, 626-698-0990, that you can call in right now. And you got the office number, 888-888-6582. Now, what I want to do is tell you about another program for grandparents. You know, grandparents are so lost when they can't see their grandchildren. It's bad because CPS won't recognize them. Well, Mr. Davis has put together a guide that he's offering for $9.99. It's all about grandparents getting their children back, their rights and everything. It's a very informative guide. But he has a special, or I have a special, that if you use my code, and it's capital P, capital A, capital C, capital E, 50. That'll get you 50% discount off that guide there that Mr. Davis has put together. So it'll only be $5, let's say. Just rounding it off there. I think it's $4.99 because 5 from 4. Let's see. No, I guess it'd be $4.99. Yeah, it's $4.99. Oh, $5. Anyway, that guide is really important. And you get it by calling that number, 888-888-6582. I'm trying to make a new banner here that talks about that grandparent guide. I'd ask my show producer if she could put a banner that I could pull up there. In fact, I like to make a banner that shows my 5 rules too. So let's see here. Has she made a banner for me yet? I know that I've asked for that. Let me see here. Where did it go here? Nope, I don't see it yet. So she has not made it. Okay. We're working on that. Now let me catch up with Margaret here. She'd asked a question about if you can sue CPS workers, and the answer is yes. You need to get an attorney that will do that, and Vincent Davis will do that. Yeah, I've already talked about that comment. Okay. And then Margaret further says, I hope she is. She's on tonight. Grace is feeling better. Thank you for asking. I don't know what we is, but her prayers have been answered. She's back. She was out for a couple days, but she's back and she's here tonight. And so our prayers have been answered. Margaret, thank you for asking about Grace. You know, Grace is family. She's our silent family, but I'm glad to have her every night because I don't feel so much alone. Now, Margaret says the reporting party needs to be sued, especially if they're calling in a false report. I agree, but they call in, they're given anonymity. And so they can hide behind a phone and they can make up stories. And I agree with you on that. Mine was a false reports. And it's 5 years I documented. I should have been able to do my case, but I don't know. It takes a lot of money to sue somebody. Now, some attorneys, if they're good, I guess, might do it where I won't charge you a thing, and if I win my case, I get 30% of the money that we win, which to me is fine. If I get 70 and the attorney gets 30, that's fine with me. I mean, whatever the money is. But right now, the only person I know that can sue CPS be successful is Vincent Davis. He has sued CPS both in state and federal court, and he's won millions of dollars. Is a small chump change. So maybe if you have something there and you want to talk to Vincent Davis, then you could do that, Margaret. You could do that there. Okay, we got some more people coming in fast and pick. I need to pick up my speed, and now my computer is acting up. I can't scroll up now. Oh, dear. I hate this. Oh. Oh, good grief. I see JD's come in, and there's some other comments I can't read. Oh, good grief. Okay. Margaret had another long one here. Let's see what Margaret said before I get JD. Margaret says most of the time, the reporting party, false accusations involve law enforcement. They are calling in falsified reports. They need to be arrested and charged. Well, I agree. If you make a false report, you should be held accountable. And I guarantee if anybody that wants to make a report has to put the report in writing and sign the name with a phone number, then that way we could get track of them. But right now there's no record. They're kept with anonymity, or autonomy, I guess what it's called there. Hi, JD. Good to see you. JD, welcome. I think JD, I always get this confused. You're either from Pennsylvania or Los Angeles, California. I forgot which you are, JD. And sorry, I'll eventually get it right. JD says, yes. JD says you should run your own channel. You can always refer him business. All right, JD. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we have someone new, I think. I have not seen this person. Oh, Akima Richardson, KK. Hi, KK. She is from Brooklyn, New York. Hi, Bob, and welcome to all the parents in the room. That's sweet, KK. And how are you doing? How's your case going? KK actually has a podcast, and she does the same thing where she tries to help people with CPS. So good to see you, KK. Like to hear you further. And anyway, if anybody wants to call in, my phone number is up there. Margaret says, too bad the detector tests are not admissible. Yeah, I know. There's a lot of things that are really bad that we need to change in CPS, but it's going to take a lot of help from Congress to make those changes. The Congress are the people that make the changes to things, and we need to lobby them. We need to go to Washington, D.C., to the Capitol, and have a meeting about making major changes in CPS. And Akima is just saying hello, everybody, and that's so good. I'd like to have an update, Akima, if you could. Now, JD is further saying, not Vince. He wants all up front. Yeah, I understand. Yeah. Yep. We're not going to be talking negative about anybody. I just want to keep it all positive. But I understand where you come from, JD. So I have my number up, and I'm ready to take any calls anybody wants to call in. Don't forget my 5 rules. 1, you get an attorney, and I mean a real attorney, somebody that is juvenile family dependency law trained with experience of fighting CPS. The way they get an attorney, you should get 3 quotes from 3 attorneys. And one of them is easy. One of them is Vincent Davis, and you get a free consultation with him if you just would call into my show or be a guest on my show. But there are 2 important questions you ask the attorney. First question is, are you a juvenile family dependency lawyer who has fought CPS and gotten children back? If the answer is yes, your second question is, have you, after the case is closed, have you ever sued CPS and got money back from winning the case? If the answer is yes, so you have 2 yeses, that's the person that you want to go after. That's the person you want to see if the chemistry is good. That's the person you want to get a quote for the retainer, because that's the kind of attorney you need. The court-appointed attorney are lazy. They have a caseload of 30 more clients. They won't have time for your case. They won't fight for your case. So you're wasting time. And being pro se, where you try to find your own, has its pros and cons. 1, you can talk. See, if you have an attorney represent you, can't talk. But the cons are you're going to be eaten alive by people that have been to law school that knows the laws, and you have to know the laws. It's really tricky there. Akima says, I actually go to a court Monday to finish the fact-finding trial. I'm still testifying. That's so good. She's doing a fact-finding trial. She has CPS on the ropes, and that's in Brooklyn, New York. And so, KK, that's great. I want to hear the outcome of this Monday tries there. Now, JD says, how is that negative, Bob? Well, I don't want to downplay a person that is responsible for this podcast. whatever his views are or how he finances is really to himself. I'm here to help you all with what worked with me getting the kids back. As far as talking about people that are connected to my show or things like that, I just like to think of positive because he does a lot of his free time. That podcast he does on Saturday at 10:30 is free. There's no charge for that. He has a question and answers during the week. It's free. He will talk to you for 50 minutes if you talk on my podcast for free. And I have another way. He will talk to you for 30 minutes for $60. And you go to the website. It's a ticket underneath my screen that's flashing through. He'll go there. He'll go there. So, that's okay, JD. Okay. JD further says, the guy can supply you with a working computer. I know. I agree. I agree. I mean, it is really frustrating right now because my computer I had for 7 years, and unfortunately, a couple of years ago, I slipped on his quartz stairways, and I fell on my computer and pretty much smashed it. And I think that's part of it, that the motherboard somewhere maybe is broken inside. I don't know. It's 7 years old, and I do need a new one. And my sons are trying to help me, so maybe they can come through. I will get that resolved. As I say, I get things fixed. It may take some time, but I'm able to still work this computer and do the show. Letitia Kamish, I think you've been on before. The name sounds familiar. I still need consultation for my kids' cases. Well, if you want consultation for your kids' cases, come and talk to me on the show or be a guest on the show and you get 15 minutes with Mr. Davis. Or if you want to pay him $60, he'll talk to you for 30 minutes. You just go to the link that goes to the bottom of my thing. Where are you from, Letitia? Where are you from? And again, if you've been on my show, I may have forgotten you, and I'm sorry, but the name does look kind of familiar, but I forgot where you're from. And I don't know if you've been on my show with a phone call or I've been a guest on my podcast, but welcome here. Welcome here. This is a room that everyone is welcome in here, whether you're from the United States or from one of the other countries that I talk to. You're welcome here because, as Leica said from South Africa, we're a family here. JD and Tessa and Betty and Akima Richardson. We have, it goes on. Carlos and Henry. We have so many of you. We have Faye Manley from Richmond, Kentucky. We got Christina. There's been so many of you that repeatedly keep calling in, and it's so great. And I want to help you. I was talking about my rules, and I got through the first rule, which is get an attorney. You were glad that you did. You'll get your case back. I had to sell my house to get my attorney, and I got my kids back, all but one of them, and that was misfortunate because what had happened with my youngest daughter, who was 12 at the time, she was coerced and convinced by the social worker who wanted to do retaliation against us parents because our attorney caught her in a lie. So she told her daughter, you know what? You're 12 years old. You can emancipate from your parents. That means you can divorce your family. And she went ahead and did that. She also encouraged her to change her name completely. She took away her beautiful name. Her middle name was Hanalei. It's the most beautiful place I find on earth. It's in Kauai. It's the North Shore of Kauai. But Hanalei is a beautiful place. There's no question. It's one of the beautiful places of the world, and it's in the United States. So that has another plus factor to it too. But anyway, this social worker went on to tell her to get a new birth certificate, seal the old birth certificate, get a second Social Security card so she can double dip from Social Security. And Social Security, if they knew about that the CPS would be in a lot of trouble right now. You don't double dip the Social Security. That's wrong. That's wrong. And then she was adopted by foster care who got her a birth certificate. And so it was sad. It was so sad. I can tell you that CPS is not your friend. They're mean and they hurt. And it still hurts every day to know that my daughter's gone. My daughter's gone. Let's see what that said here from the latest person in my room here. Letitia, Merced, my son, is the one who was found. Okay, yes. And I'm so sorry. You're from Macon, Georgia. And she had a son who was found dead in a pit ball of those styrofoam color balls. And he was so young he couldn't even walk there. But apparently in CPS's care, one of the children jumped on him or something like that, but he was found dead, cold to touch. And it's a horrible, horrible thing. And Letitia, did you talk to Mr. Davis yet? Because I know I submitted your name in when you talked on the show. Letitia from Macon, Georgia. Did you talk to Mr. Davis? Let me see here. Let me look at my phone here, see when I sent to Grace about you. All right. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's see when you last talked here. I'm looking up Letitia here when I put the request in here. Okay. I'm looking for it still, Letitia. Do you remember what day that you called in? Let me see if I can find you here. I may be going too fast. I don't know. Let me check Vonage here. Do you know what the first three numbers were, Letitia? It's going to take me a little bit of time here, Letitia. I have to work on it. I won't forget you. I won't forget you. If you could tell me the date, that helps me narrow it down here. So Letitia, who called in, talked about her son that was murdered by the Child Protection Services. The reason why I say it's murder, when someone cares your children and the stupidity of putting a little infant in a pit ball with other children or grown up is ridiculous. Is ridiculous. And that was uncalled for. That was in Macon, Georgia. And I think that's right about Christmas time, but I need to research it a little bit more and find out the exact time request I put to Grace. I'm pretty good about that. Margaret says, oh, I thought she was from Macon, Georgia. She's from Merced, California. Oh, boy. I apologize, Letitia. She's from Merced, California. Okay. Let me see. JD always has, can you discuss child alienation? Sure can. You know, JD, that is the worst thing that people don't realize. When your children are taken by CPS, they're not supposed to alienate the children, but they do so. You know why? When my kids were taken in, CPS never told what the parents were doing. They made it sound like the parents gave up on their children. Alienation is when CPS makes the children believe that the parents don't care. What they're trying to do is in fact, when my kids were put in a group home, a foster care group home, they were instructed not to hug the parents, to keep the hands at the side. That was alienate, and alienation is illegal. And that's what they do with children. They do that with parents. They want the children to remain in CPS's hands. Why? It's $1 trillion business. They need that money, and they need it till the child becomes 18. And there are certain children out there that are 19 and 20 years old still in CPS's custody making money because the child with special needs doesn't know better. But any child who turns 18, all you have to do is tell the social worker, I'm done. I want to go home. I want to be with my parents, or I want to go live in that as an adult. When you're 18 or older, you're a grown adult and you make your own decisions. And you can tell the social service workers that you leave it. They can't stop you legally. They cannot stop you legally. They cannot. And you can say, I want to go home with my grandparents or my mom or my dad or my uncle or aunt. You can do that. And you can get a guardian. So that is the child alienation there. It's illegal. And CPS does it really good. They really try to alienate the children. Why? Because they want the children to stay in foster care. Why? Because they want the money. It's all about the money. I mean, they get money for incentive for having them adopted in foster care as opposed to family reunification. Why is family reunification discouraged? Because it takes too much work and too long. And they want children to be in a stable environment. Now, if all the CPS workers were good and all the programs were fair and they were honest, I'd have no problem with a lot of stuff they want to do. But right now, you got a very corrupt system, a system that's gone rogue. There are too many CPS agencies, the CPS agencies in all these different states that have gone bad. They take money, they lie, they're not transparent. There's no one as a watchdog over CPS. So hopefully that helps you a little bit there, JD, about alienation, because it is wrong. Now, parents will use alienations to get their children to like them as opposed to the other parents. So they're trying to alienate the child. Alienation is wrong. You don't want to discourage your parent not to love their dad or their mom. Both parents are vital. Studies have proven that the biological parents are the best parents to raise their children. They may have differences with their spouse, but they need to put that aside and think about the child. That child needs help to grow up till they reach 18, and they need help afterwards. I still have my two boys, my 25-year-old boy and my 19-year-old boy, and they're going to college and stuff like that, and I do help them out. There's a lot of life skills that we're not born with. We're not born with an owner's manual. So I am really, find it hard when social workers will not say how the parents are working hard. They're taking classes. They want to be with you. They love you. None of that goes on. None of that goes on. There's nothing about love or anything else. None of that goes on. Danielle. Well, hello there. Hi, Danielle. Danielle is from Atlanta, Georgia. Or a different part of Georgia. I don't think it's Atlanta. But anyway, she has a special needs son. She has a brother that has special needs. And she's trying to adopt her special needs son to be a guardian of him. And he is right now stranded in Texas because CPS was transporting him as a special needs. They get help when he was 17. He turned 18 while in their hands. He's almost 19, and they won't release him. He wants to come home and live with his mother, and they won't release him. So that is very, very, very sad. So glad to see you, Danielle. Thank you for coming on tonight. She was my regular as my host for a long time, and so it's good to see her. And he's now 19. This is even more tragedy. CPS has made additional 2 years more money from the state. They're getting that money. He is 19 years old. He should be able to go home. And the problem being is they're so corrupt. They're keeping an adult in their hands, and that's wrong. They should not keep an adult in their hands. Now, I have about 3 minutes left, and wow, my computer's starting to flash. That's terrible. I hope that's not the case there. I'm going to turn off my phone number now because it's too late to take calls, but because I got 3 minutes left of my podcast, and I want to have you hear Vincent Davis, who ended the podcast. I still have to get dinner for my family, and so I gotta do that too. So let me see here. Oh boy, I lost everybody here. Hold on. I think Danielle says that so good to see you. Well, that's good. And so anyway, Danielle's still fighting to have her son returned. I will, Danielle. I will. And thank you so much for calling in. I want to thank Danielle, who has texted in. I want to thank Margaret from St. Louis, Missouri. I want to thank JD. And I think you're from Los Angeles, California, JD. And then I want to thank Tessa from Northern California. Letitia, I need some help with you. If you can text me your number so I can find your message, I will get that straightened out with Grace, Letitia. And then I want to thank her from calling in. And Akima Richardson, so good to see you. So good to see you. And also I want to thank the guy from Tennessee. Where are you? Kenny Anderson. He's in here tonight. So good to see you. And of course, Betty. Betty is from Montana. And so those are people tonight. And there's a lot of you behind the scenes that gave me hearts and thumbs up. I thank you for that. God bless you all. And I will see you tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. Remember, it's Sunday, 8 o'clock. I'll see you in the morning. And so hopefully my computer is hanging up there and still going strong. And then I'll try to see you then. And I want you all to know that keep trying for your children. Don't give up. Think about my 5 rules. Think about it. You've seen other podcasts there. So I will help you. I care about you. And God bless you. Good night. And this is Bob Pace signing off until tomorrow. You'll hear a brief message from Vincent.
Feeling lost in the maze of CPS? Desperate to get your child back? You're not alone. Countless parents face the heart-wrenching reality of family separation. The legal system can be overwhelming, but there's hope.
Now, here's the key. Okay, that's how you win a 6-month hearing.
Thank you.
If you do all of those things, you're going to blow your social worker's mind, you're going to blow your attorney's mind, and you're going to blow away the judge.
With attorney Vincent W. Davis, a dedicated legal expert with 39 years of experience, committed to helping families like yours. Join his weekly live Q&A on Zoom, where you can ask your burning questions about CPS cases. Get the knowledge and strategies you need to fight for your child's return.
Alrighty, good evening everyone. This is a question and answer session for school, SKOOL, and this is the CPS school.
Are you ready to take control of your family's future? Join our school community for free to access weekly live Q&A sessions, or participate as a one-time guest. Don't let fear hold you back. Take the first step towards reuniting your family. Join us now.